34 seconds of logos. Also saying f you to epileptics with 20 seconds of flashy rogos. Aside from taking all the time in the world to show Nicholas Angel walking the entire length of the lobby, most of the sins in this movie are done intentionally and executed in a way that is both self-aware and entertaining. That won't stop me from pointing them out, but I will change the sin counter to something more fitting, the spirit of the movie.
Police Constable Nicholas Angel, born and schooled in London.
You sound like you're doing narration!
Academically excelled in theoretical coursework and final year examinations.
This movie is telling me how good this guy is at tests, even though he flips back to the cover after answering only 4 questions. More damning still, the instruction here says fill in each answer with a pencil, and you, sir, appear to be operating a pen. Although, to be fair, the validity of this entire exam could be brought into question since here it says there will be 31 questions, but further down it instructs you to answer 25 questions from Section A and 5 from Section B. I'm no math magician, but I believe that's a total of 30, not 31. Also, the front page says 3 hours will be allowed for the exam, but the second page says 1.5 hours. I love this movie and did not anticipate spending this much time on an exam paper that takes up less than 4 seconds of screen time.
But you've always wanted to transfer to the country.
I don't remember telling you that.
Yes, you did. You said, I'd love to settle down in the country sometime, Janine.
Unnecessarily exposing your own eavesdropping because you can't memorize a 10-word sentence.
I'd like to talk to the inspector.
Cop Karens.
Nicholas, we're offering you a smashing position with a delightful cottage and a lovely little place that I think has won Village of the Year I don't know how many times.
I did some digging and discovered that Sandford has never been awarded the prestigious title of Village of the Year, most likely because it doesn't exist, and now I'm questioning whether I should be believing everything I see in the movies.
If we let you carry on running around town, you'll continue to be exceptional, and we can't have that.
Old Bill Nye here lays out the very illegal and discriminatory logic behind transferring Nicholas to the sticks, an admission which feels risky and unnecessary, unless of course he somehow knew that Nicholas would be willing to set aside the quest for justice that defines him in favor of facilitating this incredible movie. I'm no forensic science magician, but how many people do you need in a room before all those extra bodies start contaminating the thing that you're forensically sciencing?
Hello?
Ah, sudden and quite obvious, Kate. No, I didn't stumble upon this knowledge while scrolling IMDb Blanchett.
We're actually supposed to call it the service now. Official vocab guidelines state that force is too aggressive.
This is like thinking that changing our name to Cinema Cuddles would make the internet less mad at us. Posing for the camera in the rain instead of going to the hotel behind you and not being in the rain.
Check in that you've always been here.
This is a shining example of how to use gratuitous movie references in a way that is fun, but still sinful. I was very tempted to give a sin removal for how legit this crossword puzzle is. I went through the effort for your visual entertainment of checking the clues against the answers and even worked out a few incomplete answers to see if they also would fit, and they do! What a stunning commitment to detail that is completely bollocksed when Joyce says,
System of government characterized by extreme dictatorship. 7 across.
Because that is clearly the clue for 14 down. Movie ruined.
Fascism. Wonderful.
The world every 100 years, apparently. Drinking beer with a straw, bypassing aroma, and increasing your chances of bloating. I'm sure this book has something to do with something. For further reading, I would recommend use of weapons. It's as if I'm experiencing deja vu. Angel's like a man on fire, an unstoppable force, knocking down one crime domino at a time. The take on Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I'm a slasher, and I must be stopped.
You're a what?
A slasher of prices.
This villain will never exposit why he so hilariously foreshadows his own villainy throughout the movie. There are at least 20 other British curse words not listed on the menu. Like, how much does it cost to be chuffed?
That is Sergeant Tony Fisher.
Write boards that throw around such scathing indictments.
She's a police officer. Being a woman has nothing to do with it.
Oh, I don't know. Comes in handy every so often.
She might not have been Academy Award winner Olivia Colman yet, but this movie is getting sinned out the arse for reducing future Academy Award winner Olivia Colman to promiscuous token police officer woman.
If we don't come down hard on these clowns, we are going to be up to our balls in jugglers.
Some people might like that, and you shouldn't shame me. I mean them.
It wasn't my intention to upset the apple cart.
Director wanted us to know Nicholas is trying to say he's not an asshole while being a bit of an asshole.
Because we all sell apples round here, don't we?
Director wanted us to know that Andy is angry at the accusations of being an asshole while being a bit of an asshole.
Your dad sells apples, Andy.
Director wanted us to know that Andy's dad has a thriving produce business while being a bit of an asshole.
But you can't wait to jump into Sergeant Popwell's grave.
Foreshadowing what turns out to be more of a trip and fall than a jump.
Why have you got your stab vest on?
It's a requirement.
England should really learn from the US and be more liberal with guns. They'd save millions on stab-proof vests.
Everybody and their mums is packing round there.
Like who?
Farmers.
Who else?
Farmer's mums.
God damn it. I held out 21 minutes, and that's 20 minutes longer than I expected.
Narp.
Bad Boys 2?
No.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2?
Giving me too many reasons to like Nicholas Angel.
What about this guy? Okay, what about this guy? Okay, what's his story?
Chekhov's guys. Despite the sound you just heard, this dull-ass cleaver doesn't go through the meat. Stacking shelves instead of directing your movie.
Michael!
Holy sudden hound from Game of Thrones. It's like every British actor at 2007 was conscripted to be in this movie for fear of being deported to the colonies.
That's the fridge magnet.
Movie has time to elevate its status while showing us how to pull a joke together. This archway gets confused by all the cutting back and forth and misses its blocking. Listen, I'm not taking a sin off for this amazing fence-jumping callback to Shaun of the Dead because that would be excessive, and I can already feel Chris bristling at the amount of removals in this. Look, Chris, a swan!
Narp.
But also, a big guy momentarily thinks he has the agility needed to pull off a sick jump, only to humorously crash through something cliche. If the can is hollow enough to make that noise, then it's not heavy enough to take out a human. Probably why everything following the impact happens off screen.
Right, Danny?
What, Peter?
Do you know this man?
Yeah, he's Auntie Jackie's sister's brother's boy.
How many examples is Nicholas going to need before he realizes that everyone knows everyone in this tiny village? I'm guessing 3 more strained punchlines at least.
Ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah?
No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
Or playing firing your gun up in the air and going, ah.
This is the most important piece of equipment you will ever own.
It is not.
You should think about using yours more often.
I do use mine.
Show me.
Danny's flipbook may have more genuine sin than the movie it lives inside. Shooting an unarmed suspect who had their hands up and was clearly surrendering. It is extremely unlikely that a cop dressed like this would be carrying a firearm, especially one seemingly borrowed from Dirty Harry. The suspect appears to be in prison garb, and the overarching narrative never makes it clear whether the movie is about a prison escape or a damning indictment of modern policing's disregard for the ethical precept innocent until proven guilty. Also, human heads do not explode like this.
Drop your weapons, you are surrounded by armed bastards!
We can't accept gifts from someone we've officially rebuked, so, jog on.
Look, Chris, swans everywhere!
Narp.
Marcus Carter's big brother said he'd fingered her up the duck pond.
Leaving me to question whether the duck pond in question is geographical or biological.
Hopefully that's the last we'll see of him.
Pre-gaming your murders and risking getting caught with a bit of careless exposure for the benefit of the camera.
Constable, official VOCAP guidelines state we no longer refer to these incidents as accidents than our collisions.
But I think I'm going to get in more trouble talking about the collision in my pants. English.
Yeah, Roy.
Vlave of Lave. Okay, I'll admit that at most one person got that joke, so I will show my work. You see, Danny says, yeah, Roy, which sounds like yeah, boy, which is a Flavor Flav catchphrase. And R is 16 letters after B, so I painstakingly counted the 16 letters after F and found it to be V. Hence, Vlave of Lave. Wasn't really a good joke and didn't deserve this much attention. Now, did I tell you why I think The Last Jedi is better than everyone thinks it is? Well, you see.
It all started with my Uncle Derek.
Skip.
I would not want to be here in the morning.
The killer is pointlessly hanging out in the front yard, confident in the knowledge that Nicholas and Danny will be exactly 0 amounts of peripheral vision levels of intoxicated.
It oxygenates the room, helps you think, relieves stress. Its needs are simple.
Exposition about your piece, Willie.
I won't argue that it was a no-holds-barred, adrenaline-fueled thrill ride, but there's no way you could perpetrate that amount of carnage and mayhem and not incur a considerable amount of paperwork.
Nicholas Angel would be the chief inspector at CinemaSins.
I don't know, quite like a little midnight gobble.
Quick! I think the swans have finally overpowered Chris, but who knows how long we have? Jeremy!
Narp.
This fun bit of editing tells the story of a man who somehow fired several shots whilst loading the air rifle.
I need to talk to you about George Merchant. Alone. The churchyard, 3 o'clock.
There is no valid reason why they couldn't go somewhere private to talk now, other than the movie's desire to gruesomely kill the messenger. I'm not saying it's impossible to make the stone fall perfectly onto a person from this height, but I don't believe it would be possible without incurring a considerable amount of math.
There's been a terrible accident.
Collision.
You don't know how to switch off.
But why would he switch off after 4 deaths in as many days? I know I mean the movie, is desperate to have these two embark on passionate makeup sex, but Nicholas has every right to be switched on here, and so do I. While any typographical errors can be attributed to Tim Messenger's characteristic poor spelling, I don't remember hearing anything about him repeating entire sentences, as we can see here and here. Scanning, reading, highlighting. Excitement? Nicholas is montaging his way to an epiphany, but is highlighting more of Tim's spelling errors really helping the matter? Gosh, nitpickers, all right?
Thanks for the monkey.
What was it?
I want it for you.
Movie has time for this soppy monkey business.
It turns out that Martin Blower God rest him knew where the new bypass road is going, because he was knocking off Eve Draper from the council, God rest her.
This conspiracy summary beats most episodes of Poirot in its ability to break down for the audience exactly what the mystery is and how it relates to the murders. It's just a shame that it's coming from the local florist and not this movie's actual Poirot.
Accidents happen all the time.
Collisions.
I chased a suspect from the scene. Innocent people don't run.
Everybody runs, Fletch.
I'm glad you asked.
Characters' joy is enhanced by a rhetorical question that allows them to show everyone their theory cliche. Villainous slow claps.
Very entertaining, but I rather think you've been watching too many films.
CinemaSins subscribers.
Something that placed you at the scene of the crime. Perhaps a wound you sustained on a piece of broken glass this very evening.
Okay, he doesn't have the wound in question, but the set dressers went to a lot of trouble putting blood on this glass that Nicholas will never bother to send off for forensic analysis. If only he had some kind of link to a forensic expert that was set up at the start of the movie.
I'm sure the store's security footage will absolve me.
Dragging the entire damn police department with you to arrest a person whose alibi you haven't even bothered to establish, let alone corroborate yet.
Do feel free to spool through.
Yeah, I'm not even mad that this joke was lifted directly from Airplane. Like much of this movie's blatant thievery from other films, it was fun and unexpected. Wait, why is that swan wearing Chris's bloodstained shirt? Oh well, narps abound!
Narp? Cornetta.
Movie buffs everywhere just ice creamed their pants. I get that shaky cam is just one of those prominent features of the action films that this movie is paying homage to. That doesn't mean I like it here, though.
Hey, biggin. Playtime's over.
Prefacing your takedowns with taglines instead of just doing your takedown.
Michael, is everything okay?
Skinner went to the effort of stealing the costume and plot from Scream, but will be undone by forgetting the cool voice changer.
Yarp. Yarp. Narp.
Communitatis.
Just pointing out that once you hear the TARDIS, it's hard to hear anything else. You're welcome.
The tenacious Sergeant Angel has been taken care of.
If you're a secret cabal of murderers meeting in secret in full murderous cabal garb, is the spooky castle the best place to do so? I mean, it's hard to deny how perfect the aesthetic is, but it is exposing a sinful amount of hubris.
You see, as much as I enjoyed your wild theories, Sergeant, the truth is far less complex.
All of which I will now tell you in great detail because that is what villains do.
We would make Sandford great again.
Hey, this movie came out in 2007. The sin is your inability to not read into everything.
Well, I swear to God you'll be explaining how Danny tripped over and accidentally cut off his own head.
Collisionally. Rumor has it that Tom Cruise showed up to fill in the day they were filming all the running scenes. Apparently, he did all his own stunts, and it was weird because no one asked him to come and none of the footage was used. The Nitwit Wombat Association claims to care about this village, when it is literally crumbling beneath their feet.
A great big bushy beard.
Nicholas could have run in any direction, but manages to fall into a pit of evidence confirming everything he's just been told. This leads to having every piece of clever foreshadowing spelled out to us via flashbacks, which moves the entire plot from beautifully crafted narrative to now you're just showing off.
He's not Judge Judy and Executioner.
Hot Fuzz, Judge Judy and Executioner would have been the perfect title for a sequel. It will get a sin until that movie is made. The very same two movies that Nicholas watched with Danny just happened to be sat side by side in this random gas station, meaning their relationship and the salvation of Sandford can be attributed to one movie night and this bargain bin bullshit. She reloads after one shot, leaving me to wonder when and what she killed before taking a shot at Sergeant Angel. Chief Inspector Frank didn't think it was necessary to alert anyone at the station that Nicholas would not be returning to work, or if he did, to arrest him with extreme prejudice.
Want to do something useful?
Expecting any kid under any circumstances to say yes to this. The village, hyper-concerned about its image, still has a poster up for the Romeo and Juliet adaptation that everyone described as god-awful. Oh yeah, and the two cast members are dead. Probably an equally good reason to take it down. Sure is cinematically handy that the main cast of the night wanking arseholes all happen to be out and about in the streets as Nicholas trots along, instead of any of them being at work or on the bog. Riding your horse the wrong way down a clearly signposted one-way street. You're still a policeman officer of the law, Nicholas.
Morning.
The Numpty Wally army are very quick to escalate from clandestine murders to an all-out OK corralling in the broad daylight. Having a fucking scope and the high ground is still not enough to penetrate the hero's protective shield of no way does this movie kill off anyone we care about. Inviting kids into an active war zone.
I brought you into this world. Think it's rather fitting I should be the one to take you out of it.
Not really. Without you, he would have been born all the same. What you did was increase the chances of a successful and safe birth for the child and mother. So it would be more fitting if you provided medical support for someone else who was trying to kill Danny. This is a logical fallacy, and it severely undervalued his mom's contribution. God damn, that shotgun cocking was so gratuitous it required no less than 6 cuts. I don't know what your average pub table is made of in England, but I doubt it's machined from a tree that evolved to be this bulletproof. Nicholas makes the odd choice of taking aim here and then deciding that pulling a wanted is the best way to shoot down this conveniently hanging bear trap. Super weird, considering pulling a wanted won't be a thing for another year. Is the movie ready to reconcile with the fact that these people aren't zombies and that Nicholas is maiming and, in this case, killing people without any kind of official backing? I think not.
Help us bring an end to this absurd story!
The movie thinks that by admitting its absurdity at the end, it will receive some sort of absolution. Not today. R.I.P. Summerfield. Our token British writer told me a generation of people thought this movie alone would be a gateway to a more cooperative future for the brand. But alas, no. I don't understand what I just said, so I'm going to assume it was some clever wordplay, feed them biscuits and gravy, and move on. I haven't thought about what would happen if I fell into a freezer of frozen peas, but I can't say immediate yarcolepsy would ever be a contender. Several minutes of chasing, shooting, and chasing, and nary a single tire is tickled.
Stay back, or the ginger nut gets it!
Gingivitis spreaders.
What's your name?
Aaron Aarons.
Sorry?
If you don't get that one, just watch the movie again. Hell, you can watch it 2 more times back to back and it would still be fun. Oh shit, the Swans are finished with Chris and now they're after me! Chris lives on in swan form!
Narp.
This Point Break payoff that we saw coming a mile away. This Bad Boys 2 payoff that we saw coming a mile away. Expecting me to believe that the man with a spike in his mouth was taken to a police mugshot session before receiving little more than a single bandage worth of medical attention. Everyone except Weaver survives this intentionally over-the-top explosion that should have incinerated, liquefied, or otherwise deconstructed their physical structure into its component parts because, as the movie admitted earlier, the story is absurdly fun. I mean, sinful.
Hope these are okay.
A beloved character's death fake-out as a sickly sweet cherry on top of your textbook action movie ending Sunday cliche. If it isn't already obvious, I love this movie. God damn, does it not know how to end. Also, movie eventually ends.
Signed in triplicate, sent in, sent back, queried, lost, found, subjected to public inquiry.
Nicholas Angel. Oh.
Mind freak.
You're a what?
Bond. James Bond. She's a police officer. Being a woman has nothing to do with it.
You stink and shit and the cakes you make look like they're falling out some shit ass.
You took my sonar concept and applied it to every phone in the city.
Mr. Skinner, do you mind telling me how you know the identity of the persons involved?
Whoever she was must have scared the living daylights out of her.
Guns. Lots of guns.
What do you mean by this one?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
Is that why you split up?
What?
Emma pulled you off.
The M word, Nicholas. There hasn't been a motherfucker in Sandford for 20 years.
Little did he realize, the world was to hear more from the phantom raspberry blower of old London town.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
You've got red on you.
We should get down there.
How?
Aim for the bushes.
Stop looking at me, Swan.